With KJ Hamler once again injured, the Denver Broncos need to add some depth at wide receiver. In case you guys missed it, earlier today it was announced that Denver Broncos wide receiver KJ Hamler injured his pectoral muscle while he was training this offseason. The injury ended up being a partial tear which required surgery, and KJ is now set to miss the next 4 to 6 months. With that timeline, best case scenario, we may get KJ back for training camp, but more realistically, we may not see him back on the field until end of September, beginning of October. Losing KJ Hamler is a significant blow to the Denver Broncos receiving corps, as they don't really have another player with his skill set. KJ brings sub 4.4 speed and has the ability to take the top off the defense at any given time. Anytime KJ Hamler is on the field, opposing defenses simply have to account for him or they may get burned. The hope was that last season, KJ Hamler could sort of fill that Tyler Lockett role for Russell Wilson, to whom he has a similar skill set. Unfortunately, in his first year back from his torn ACL, KJ Hamler really struggled to stay on the field last year. His knee never really was quite right, and then he ended up injuring his hamstring and missed the final 9 games of the year because of that. As I said in my previous video, as much as it sucks, any production that the Denver Broncos may get out of KJ Hamler moving forward is honestly house money. The Denver Broncos need to add another speedy wide receiver, and in my opinion, there is a guy out there in free agency who fits the bill perfectly, and that player is DJ Chark. Not only did I talk about this potential move in my previous video, but Sayer Bettinger, co-host of the Locked On Broncos podcast and writer for Predominantly Orange, recently entertained this possibility in a recent article talking about 5 players who could replace KJ Hamler. After spending the first 4 seasons of his career with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Chark had a really strong showing last season for the Detroit Lions. Let's hear what Sayer Bettinger's article has to say about DJ Chark. Chark has a rare combination of size at 6'4" and speed with a sub 4.4 40-yard dash, and he uses that skill set well. He made the Pro Bowl in the 2019 season, and although injuries and inconsistent quarterback play have derailed his ability to consistently be a top threat in recent years, Chark has showed that his big play abilities are still there when he was with Detroit last season. It also just so happens that Broncos pass game coordinator John Morton was in Detroit last year as well. At just 26 years old, DJ Chark is probably the top speedy wide receiver that's still available on the free agent market. That said, his market seems to have languished a bit, and I feel like the Denver Broncos may be able to bring him in on a cheap 1-year prove-it deal. Having one of the best deep ball throwers at quarterback in Russell Wilson could really entice DJ Chark to come here and showcase his skill set. Although there is a chance that KJ Hamler may not miss any regular season time, as I alluded to earlier, at this point I really don't feel like the Broncos can truly depend on KJ Hamler moving forward. If he is able to stay healthy next season and does produce, that's awesome, but the Denver Broncos really cannot bank on that, as sad as that is to say. I believe that a player like DJ Chark could really help out the Denver Broncos, and he could really step into a big role here in the Mile High City. On top of that, there have been recent rumors surrounding the Denver Broncos possibly moving on in a trade from either Courtland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy. Although through the media the team has come out and said that they are not looking to trade either one of them at this time, all I have to say is this: during the free agency period, you need to pay attention to what the team does, not what the team says. Now, when the Broncos did this, I don't know if they knew about KJ Hamler's injury, but over the past week, they have heavily targeted free agent wide receivers Allen Lazard and Adam Thielen. Thielen ended up going to the Carolina Panthers, and Lazard ended up going to the New York Jets, where it is assumed that he will be reunited with Aaron Rodgers. That said, the Denver Broncos still were heavily interested in both of those players and were probably the second in command to land them. That tells me that the Denver Broncos are trying to do some work to their wide receiver room. Now, neither Allen Lazard or Adam Thielen have a similar skill set to KJ Hamler, so that almost makes me believe that the Broncos did not know about KJ Hamler's injury when they pursued those guys. However, those players do similarly match the skill set of Courtland Sutton. I've said it before on the channel, I really believe that the Broncos were pursuing either Adam Thielen or Lazard, and they were trying to get them in and ship Courtland Sutton and his $18 million salary out via a trade. Lazard ended up commanding about $11 million in free agency, so that's likely what the Denver Broncos were looking to spend at that position. I would still definitely keep an eye on the Denver Broncos moving on from Sutton, but in light of the KJ Hamler injury, the likelihood of it certainly has decreased. Alright, Broncos country, I'm curious, how would you guys feel about DJ Chark in a Broncos uniform? Drop those comments down below, I would love to hear from you. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. And while you're at it guys, be sure to follow me on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL for continuing Broncos coverage. For now guys, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I am your host Gage Madrid, saying peace out.